Database journal entry number 1987. We have been dispatched to an island near Antarctica on rumors that Cobra is once again experimenting with dinosaur DNA. In an effort to fuse them with another species of animal, it appears they are making dinosaurs with DNA from penguins. Welcome to our island, boys. So happy you can join us. But if you cause us trouble, you'll be joining us for dinner. Hello, everybody. Sparkster1701 here. And this month we're going to take a look at some of my Lego-built G.I. Joe vehicles. And since I did something totally new with this one, I wanted to show it off to all of you. This is the Dinosaur Hunter. Now, the Dinosaur Hunter is a rather interesting and bizarre toy in the history of G.I. Joe. And we'll cover some of that history for you. The Dinosaur Hunter was released in 1993. It was Hasbro's attempt to cash in on the popularity of the movie Jurassic Park, which had come out the year prior. But the toy license was held by Kenner Toys, which by 1993 was also owned by Hasbro. So basically, Hasbro decided to get more money out of a license they already had, but by doing it in a way that they didn't have to pay more to use the license. So, in their usual idea of Hasbro cheapness that they're all famous for, and all you gotta do is listen to me and half a dozen other toy collectors on YouTube will all tell you the same thing. They went with the as cheap as possible for the making of the Dinosaur Hunter toy, especially since it was only released in Toys R Us stores. The Dinosaur Hunter vehicle itself is basically a retool of the Desert Fox vehicle, which was essentially another six-wheeled vehicle, but it had a machine gun turret here on the back instead of the dual grappling hooks. And of course, to change that, they used the mold from a backpack from a Flak Viper. So they really went cheap on it. The two action figures that it came with were basically repaints of previously established figures. And according to the video done by Hooded Cobra Commander 788, the dinosaur itself was basically remolded from a dinosaur that was bought from a foreign toy line. They remolded the dinosaur so that it basically, instead of having the little T-Rex arms pointed outward, they were pressed against its chest, like it was acting like it had been wounded or offended. In all respects, it looked stupid. But it apparently sold relatively well due to the fact that it came out during the time of that popular film. And I mean, let's face it, a fair amount of us at that time, we saw Jurassic Park. I saw it after it got released on home video, because at that time I couldn't afford to go to the movies. I was still a kid. And convincing mom and dad to go to movies was a tough sell, so I waited till it came out and I bought the VHS. Some years after that, I read the book. I still enjoy both to this day. Now, for those of you who are probably paying attention, you probably noticed the one thing that's different about this from many of my other vehicles. We have stickers. And I want to thank my buddy Gary out there on his YouTube channel for showing me that you can get stickers for G.I. Joe vehicles relatively easily from a site called Toy Hacks. I'm not sure how to scale they are with real G.I. Joe vehicles, but these aren't too bad for my Lego creations. They are a little bit big, but I still find them serviceable, and they do add that extra touch of credibility. For the stickers placement, I was able to look up the instructions on various websites. My favorite is, of course, 3D Joe's, as they do have a lot of scans of the instructions, plus three-dimensional rotating scans of all the toys from the vintage line. So definitely, if you're a fan, you want to go check that out. Yeah, the Desert Fox here, it is a relatively simple vehicle. A six-wheel drive one, trying to overextend the popularity of 4x4 toy trucks around the time of the Desert Fox's release. And for armament, we have, of course, this dual grappling hook launcher. This is modified from the original plans from G1er Customs, because he was using a Creo part to help build the gun section, and since Creo parts are very difficult to get loose on the secondary market, I modified the design. My apologies, Austin, if you are watching this, but I wanted a design that was 100% Lego, mainly because it's easier to get Legos, thanks to Bricklink. And we also have a pair of sonic missiles that are used to help capture dinosaurs. The vehicle itself requires 2 men to operate it, 1 man to be the driver, and a second man to operate the turret, since there's apparently no remote operations inside the vehicle. And then it has room for 2 others. Somebody can sit in the passenger seat, and somebody really, really brave can sit here on the back of the vehicle. And of course, the vehicle also has the universal tow hitch that many G.I. Joe vehicles came with, but they really didn't come with anything that would have been of any value to have helped with capturing dinosaurs. However, referring back again to Hooded Cobra Commander 788's video review of the Dinosaur Hunter, he mentioned that the dinosaur toy came with a different type of dinosaur capture vehicle. It was essentially another Jeep, but it had a trailer that featured a cage to capture the dinosaur in. Maybe someday I'll get around to designing that and have it go along with it. And of course, here is my Lego dinosaur. This is one of them from before they started doing the Jurassic Park Lego sets. Although this one was probably from one of the early studio ones that was done around the time of the 3rd movie. I'm not entirely sure, but this one was relatively cheap and easy to come by. And it looks just as dumb as the dinosaur did with the G.I. Joe version, so we'll go along with it. It's all in good fun. You can see with it, this one at least is a little bit better than the rubber dinosaur. It at least has a movable tail. The tailpiece is pretty loose on this one. We can open and close the mouth, and he can move his arms. So it does lead to some nice posing options. We got that much at least. And right here we have for you my crew for the Dinosaur Hunter. Of course, we'll start off with the ones that the toy came with. This is my take on Ambush. This would be version 2 of Ambush. The helmet is an official Lego one, but it didn't come in this tan color, so I had to paint it. A lot of us do it anyways, so I don't really consider it blasphemy to do it on minifigure parts. As for weapons, we've given him a gun. Since I have him in the driver's seat, that's why he's got it in his left hand. And next up we have Low Light. This would have been the 4th version of Low Light released. Unfortunately, I'm using a head that was more akin to the version 3 release. As mainly at the time that I was ordering the parts for these, I didn't realize Lego had a minifigure head with a blonde mustache and beard. So maybe in the future I'll replace it. But right now I'm not too bothered by it. I've given him a scoped rifle since he kind of functions as a night spotter and often is used as a sniper. Hence why his helmet also has some fold-down night vision goggles. And these are actual, this is an actual one from Lego. This isn't a knockoff set of night vision goggles, so that is kind of cool that I could get a set like that. And the other 2 characters are a reference to a Super Nintendo game from the 90s. They did a sequel to their Jurassic Park game, which I did play both of them. I still love the first one. Second one, I can't wrap my hands around it too much. But I made figures based on those characters, so this is basically an attempt at Dr. Grant. I know the hair's the wrong color, but that's the color it was in the game. But that is a Dr. Grant head. In the game, he's wearing this sort of body armor. I'm not too happy that the armor came with a set of clips on the back, but maybe I'll get some of the syringes that they make to look like tranquilizer darts for the dinosaurs. And since I got him riding in the back, I gave him a shotgun. Very similar to the model that was used in the Jurassic Park film, since as you can see, it's got the folding stock here on the top, so I think I made a good choice with that. And then we got the second character, the Player 2 character, Technical Sergeant Michael Wolfskin, who was hired by John Hammond to assist Grant in that game. Those of you who may not be familiar with it, Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues, was a run-and-gun follow-up to the Super Nintendo Jurassic Park. It basically follows an attempt to, once again, try to get Jurassic Park open. And InGen receives word that Lewis Dodson and Biosyn are attempting to take the dinosaurs. So the 2 of them are sent in to drive Biosyn off and quite possibly also kill all the raptors and the T-Rex. Wasn't much of a video game since it's not really all that remembered, unlike the original. But I thought it'd be cute to reference it with the Dinosaur Hunter. If some people I knew had allowed us into something that they were doing, I might have written the game up as a role-playing scenario if we would have played the G.I. Joe role-playing game, as it might have been kind of fun. But of course, a fair amount of you are probably wondering, why would there be dinosaurs in a toy line for a modern military toy line? Well, they gave something of a story idea. Yeah, I know I knocked this thing apart, but it's the only way to get the figures inside the vehicle. They basically went along the similar lines to how the Jurassic Park movies portrayed it. That apparently on Cobra Island, Cobra forces discovered fossils of dinosaurs, and they went the route of InGen and brought them to life. But not to be used as a tourist attraction. They were instead going to unleash them upon society as a whole, as modern terrorist organizations are apt to do, especially if they have the means to bring dinosaurs to life. But of course, we also have to remember Cobra did create its own emperor in the form of Serpentor and brought him to life, siphoning DNA from dead tyrants and other figures. So, is this really beyond the realm of possibility for Cobra? And if any of you don't believe me on this, you didn't watch the cartoon from the 1980s. Many, if not all the episodes are available here on YouTube, so I would say go watch it. It's definitely a fever trip. But if you were a child of the 80s like I was, you tended to enjoy it. As you can see, we got just about everybody in. Get the antenna out of the way here. Lean Dr. Grant back into his seat and remount the antenna. So there we have it, folks. The only unfortunate part of the design of this, when I've got it fully stocked up, is that it's a little hard to move the rear turret when there's 4 guys on it. But of course, part of that's also probably due to the body armor, since the armor extends out a little bit. But it's not like I'm actually going to play with this toy. I would probably more put it on display. Plus, it also doesn't roll the best due to a slight design flaw. The back wheels are just barely far enough apart from each other. But as you can see by the way I'm twisting the one, it's turning the one in front of it in the opposite direction. So it needs a slight redesign to move this back wheel back a stud, and then the vehicle will roll freely. But all in all, I am still impressed with it. I do enjoy how it turned out. The stickers definitely add something to it. But now I pass it on to you, my viewers. What do you think of the Dinosaur Hunter? Please give me a shout out down in the comments below. That's my look at a Lego version of the G.I. Joe Dinosaur Hunter playset. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please do remember that if you love the content we feature on YouTube, we would certainly appreciate likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions. And definitely this time want to give some shout outs to a lot of people. First of all, to my brother, Cyclonus150, that's his YouTube channel, for the contribution of the other dinosaur penguins. Also want to give a shout out to Austin from G1er Customs for the design of this toy. And also a shout out to my buddy Gary over at 5 Deadly Bricks. He also builds Lego G.I. Joe vehicles and shows off some custom figures. So please do check him out here on YouTube as well. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.